Welcome back to Clarity Convos for Wedding Pros podcast. I'm your host, Aislinn. Thank you so much for being here today. I am really excited to get into today's episode. But before I do, I want to tell you a little bit about what's going on behind the scenes over here and celebrate some of my clients. So behind the scenes, it has been a very busy summer, like more busy than I thought it was going to be. But this year has been so cool because I was able to go to an Abraham Hicks workshop with my mom. My sister and I are going to see Death Cab for Cutie later this year. We are getting to run the Disney Half Marathon later this year as well. It's just been really cool, like all of these things popping up that are just things that I really love. And it's neat to be back in a space where we can actually like go do these events. So like a couple of weeks ago, we went to a Renaissance festival and it was amazing. If you're in Colorado, the Colorado Renaissance Festival was really, really cool. And it was neat to just play and just see if I was interested in things and see what that experience might be like. And so I've really just spent the summer diving into things that I might enjoy or things I already know that I enjoy. So I've been spending a lot of time reading. I've been spending a lot of time just resting and enjoying my household. We've also had family and friends in town, and my husband has been traveling a little bit here and there. So it's just been a really busy season. And I say all of that to say, as much as I would love to get these podcast episodes out every single week on a certain day, sometimes that just isn't the season that you're in. And right now, I am thoroughly enjoying my life. So when this episode drops on a Friday instead of on a Monday, I'm proud of myself for getting it done in a weekly time frame, but also I'm not going to beat myself up over the idea that I have to have it done on a certain time. So that is the behind the scenes of what's going on. I have some really cool things going on, like business-wise as well. So right now I am launching Clarity Academy membership, which is my membership for women who are ready to work on their business. And the price is going up on Friday, July 7th. And so I'm just so excited because we already have women who are in there. They've already started taking action for the trainings. The first training that you get access to is about Instagram stories for wedding professionals. And it's such a good strategy training. Like you're going to freaking love it. And then you also get access to 100 content prompts for wedding professionals. So if you're someone who is making Instagram posts and you're just like, I don't know what to post today. Like, I don't know what this caption should be. This 100 content prompts PDF is going to be literally a lifesaver. It's going to save you hours and hours and hours of time. So if you're interested in joining Clarity Academy membership, you can look at the show notes and you can join there. So the next thing I have coming up is going to be a 3-day mini course. And I don't have the topic to share with you guys yet. I'm kind of going back and forth on 2 different topics, but I'm really excited because that's going to be at the end of July. And then the next really big thing that I'm so excited about is that I am launching Success Accelerator program again. I'll be launching that in August and the start date is going to be in September. So if you know that you've wanted to get into closer proximity mentorship with me, Success Accelerator program is like the place to be. And that's actually a great segue into celebrating some of my clients who are actually in Success Accelerator program right now. So one of my clients is celebrating a $12,000 month in business for the month of June. So freaking proud of her. She's done so much work over this past couple of months, and I've just been so in awe of what she's creating, and some of the mindset shifts she's had have just blown my mind. Another one of my clients has been she has people reaching out for mentorship. And she also launched her first course while she was in Success Accelerator program. And so she has started to do her group calls for her first course. And she has people reaching out to her for one-on-one mentorship while she's also running her successful wedding photography business. So it's really cool to watch her just grow and change and do things that she didn't think she could do before SAP. Another one of my clients had an unexpected $7,000 in income come in for June when she was expecting it to be a really lean month. She was able to create extra revenue during the month of June that she just never would have created had she not had the momentum and some of the mentorship and guidance that she had in SAP. And finally, one of my other clients just launched her brand new website and raised her prices at the same time. She's adding film to her wedding photography business. And she just had an amazing client call, and fingers crossed that client books her, but I'm so freaking proud of her. It's amazing to watch her grow and change and add these things into her business. So that's all of the clients that I'm celebrating right now, I have so many amazing stories from my clients, especially my SAP clients. They are just absolutely killing it right now. But today's podcast episode, I thought it would be really fun to answer some questions that my clients have asked me and to give you some of the coaching that I gave them, or at least similar coaching that I have given them. So, one thing you need to know is that if you're in Clarity Academy membership, you actually get to submit questions every single month. And the really, really good questions will likely end up on the podcast at some point. So you can check out Clarity Academy membership in the show notes. All right, first question that one of my clients asked me it was about like networking, and we were kind of talking about, what to do at her next networking event. She had a whole bunch of people that she was like, I really want to meet them. I really want to make a connection with them, but like, I'm afraid that they're going to look at me and laugh. And when my client told me that, I was just like, who would laugh? Like, who would laugh? Like, you're amazing. You're talented. You're kind. You are incredibly like, your process is amazing. Like what you do for your clients is absolutely amazing. Like who would laugh? And so what I encouraged her to do was to make some warmer leads before she actually got to the networking event. So instead of just walking into a room at a networking event and be like, I know no one. I don't know anyone here and everyone's staring at me and I feel so awkward. What I want you to do is warm up the people and connections before you ever get to that event. So this is such a fun question because so many of you have upcoming network events or conferences that you're going to. So here's a couple of things I want you to think about. Do you know the person that you're trying to talk to? That person, like when you're like going to a networking event and like you're thinking about conversation starters for networking events, I want you to think about like, okay, well, is this like a hot lead or is this a cold lead? Do I know this person and I have a good relationship with them? Do I kind of peripherally know this person and I don't have a relationship yet? Or like, I don't know this person at all, like whatsoever. Like we have no connection points. Because when you're thinking about conversation starters and you're thinking about making connections with people, it's going to look different if you already have a relationship with that person and you're trying to deepen that relationship, or if you peripherally know that person, but you've never actually worked with them before, or maybe you've never had a conversation, or you literally don't know who that person is, and maybe possibly they might be someone you want to get to know better. So you need to think about that. So the next thing you want to think about is, do you have any other connection points with them? So for example, if you have a planner that you've never worked with them before, but you run in similar circles and your best friend who's a florist knows that planner, can that person introduce you? Can that florist introduce you to that planner, or vice versa, or whatever the whatever the niches are, whatever the disciplines are? Do you have connection points that can help you warm up this lead? So the other thing I recommended to my client was that she actually like start the connection point before she ever got there. So the planner that she was talking about, she had never worked with this planner before, but she was interested in building a connection with this planner. So what I told her to do was to find that person on social media and to start the connection point before she ever got to whatever the event was later in the year. So to start interacting with their stories, to start interacting with their content, to start conversations, to really warm up that connection point so that when you actually get to the event that you're going to be at with this person that you're interested in making a connection with, you already have a little bit of rapport going with them. You already have a connection point with them. So just to help you guys out, this is actually on my Instagram, so you can go look at the post as well. I actually made a list of conversation starters for you guys to use. So the first one would be to introduce yourself. You need to introduce yourself. You can't just walk up to someone and be like, hey, I saw you were at this wedding and I think that was really cool. Like, cause that's not going to be a warm connection. That's going to be like assaulting and like really like jarring to people. So I want you to introduce yourself. And then I want you to say something along the lines of like, hey, I saw that you had a wedding at XYZ venue. How was that experience for you? Did you like that venue? And I really want you to ask them a question that they can answer and be the expert on. So another example of conversation starters that you can use would be to introduce yourself. And you can also say like, hey, my friend, who's a mutual connection between you and this person that you're talking to, was telling me that you launched a course, or you hosted an event, or you were a guest speaker on XYZ podcast. How's that going for you? Or how was that? Or can you tell me more? I want to hear about it. Let them be the expert on their life. Like, give them the platform to tell you about the things that they're passionate about. So another example of a conversation starter at a networking event could be, oh my gosh, it's so nice to finally meet you in person and not just chat on social media. I loved XYZ wedding that you did with XYZ details. So this is great if you've already warmed up the connection point and you guys have been like talking on social media and like you've been like kind of like building the connection over there. When you actually meet that person in person, like letting them know like, hey, I really like the fact that we are standing here in person and not just talking on social media. Like, this is so refreshing. And that wedding that you did last weekend at XYZ venue, that was so freaking cool. Can you tell me more about what you did with the arch? I noticed it was like a really interesting, like, material. Whatever it is, just let them be the expert on their life. Give them the platform. So another example could be you introduce yourself and then you say, we met at XYZ event last spring. It's so nice to see you again. What projects have you been working on since I last saw you? So this is really great if like you kind of have like a peripheral connection with someone and you've met them at another event, but you're like trying to help them place where they know you from and then asking them about their projects that they're working on, asking them about how their business is going, like asking them about what they're working on right now. So some networking tips for you guys. I want you to be good listeners, and I also want you to be good question askers. If you could be a good listener and a good question asker, people will remember you because you gave them a platform where they got to be the expert on themselves and they got to be the expert on the passions that they have. I want you to also be checking for body language and inflection cues. So body language will tell you a lot about whether or not the person across the table from you or high top or wherever you're talking, like it'll tell you whether or not they're interested in staying in the conversation. It'll also tell you whether or not you need to like back off of the questions or if you need to ask them more questions. So body language is super important. And I think a lot of wedding professionals sometimes miss body language. Inflection cues are how they are speaking, like the inflection of their voice. So you'll be able to tell a lot from the tone of voice and the inflections that are going on there. So another thing I want you to think about with networking tips is stop putting people on pedestals because they charge a certain price or know certain people. A lot of wedding professionals will walk into a networking event and they'll be like, oh, I can't possibly talk to that person because they charge $12,000 for photography. They're like so far above me, like there's no way I could talk to that person. This is you putting someone else on a pedestal because of what they charge. Or a lot of people will walk into a networking event and they'll be like, oh, I can't possibly talk to that planner because she's friends with this other planner who charges $40,000 for planning. Like, I can't possibly talk to that person. Like, they would never want to talk to me. They would laugh at me. These are stories that you are telling yourself. And this is going to affect the way that you show up when you do have conversations with people. So I want you to stop putting people on pedestals because they charge a certain amount or because they know certain people. All right, so that was the question about conversation starters for networking events. So the next question that one of my clients asked me recently was, how would I sell business intensives? So this is an amazing question because so many wedding professionals will sell business intensives or like one-off like mentoring sessions, and they do it in a way that is not, it's not sustainable, but also like there's just no fun in the way most people do this. So I generally see a lot of people in the wedding industry, like when they want to sell an intensive or like a 30-minute coaching call or whatever, they'll drop one story slide at 2 p.m. on a Tuesday, and then they never freaking talk about it again. And then they complain, no one wants to work with me. You need to treat any offer you have, whether that's mini sessions, whether that's, business intensives or whatever it is, like you need to treat it, even if you make a coaching course, or a coaching offer, you need to treat every single thing that you have like that as a launch or a mini launch. You need to build up anticipation. You need to have problem awareness content. You need to have storytelling content. You need to sell. You need to explain exactly who it's for. When I think about business intensives, I want you to start thinking about branding it and actually like giving it a name, not just like, oh, like I have 30-minute calls. Like, no, brand it. Like I have business intensive like sessions, or I have strategy sessions, or whatever you want to call it. And I want you to start thinking about making it a specific topic. This is something I help a lot of my clients to do and to create in Success Accelerator program because it's an amazing cash injection, but also it's a way to build authority in your network. People want to work with people who are doing big things. And if you are mentoring other people and they can see that you're really good at selling that, they want to work with you. So I want you guys to think about with business intensives, have I been just like dropping one slide and then like piecing out, or am I actually selling it? So the next question that I had from one of my clients was, there's a little preference here, context. They told me that they were feeling so jealous when they see a particular person pop up on their social media. And they said that I want XYZ, that XYZ thing that person has. What do I do? So I want you to think about this. When you are feeling jealous of someone else, or you're comparing yourself to someone else, as much as this is probably going to annoy you, it's actually a gift. It is an opportunity for you to go deeper. And here's how we do that. We are going to observe what's coming up in that moment. When you see that person show up on your social media and you felt jealous, or you felt triggered, or you felt like you were comparing yourself to them, or you were just like, why can't it be me? Like, why can't I have that? I want you to ask yourself the question of, what exactly is it that I'm seeing that I want? Is it the way that they move so quickly? Is it the way that they have so much stability in their life? Is it how much they're getting paid? Is it the way that they are seen as an expert? What is it? What is the thing? What is the thing that you are getting triggered by? And once you have your answer, whatever that answer is, you get to start to study exactly what it takes to get that thing or experience or emotion that you are wanting. Sometimes it's an emotion that we're wanting. Man, I just wish I could be that happy. Or like, I just wish I could feel that confident. Sometimes we want what they have in the emotional sense. Like, it's not just the like experience or the thing that they have. Sometimes it's literally just the emotion. So how can we give that to ourselves? How do you need to start showing up differently to get that thing, experience, or emotion that you want? So one of the things that I like to do with myself, but also I do this with my clients, is I ask myself, why am I not allowed to have XYZ? Whatever that answer is, it gets to be whatever the answer is. And then I ask myself, why? Why am I not allowed to have XYZ? Whatever the answer is. Okay, but why? Okay, but why? Okay, yeah, I get that, but why? So asking yourself why 5 times to get to the root of the limiting belief is amazing, because then you know exactly what you actually need to go clear. And you can do that with nervous system regulation tools, subconscious reprogramming tools. A lot of things that I teach in Success Accelerator program, as well as things that I teach my private clients, are around like finding the limiting belief, looking at it and recognizing that there is something deeper there that you get to clear. And once you clear it, you're going to stop acting like that limiting belief was the truth for you. So I love this question of, I'm so jealous when I see this other person. I want this thing that they have. What do I do? Because what you get to do is you get to examine it. You get to examine what it is exactly that you want. You get to clear limiting beliefs around it. And then you get to go take action from that standpoint. How amazing is that? I actually recently just had an experience where I saw someone come up on social media that I follow, and I got really triggered. I was like, man, I want this thing that person has. Like, I'm really jealous right now. And like, I had to get to the root of what was actually happening for me. And it was like 8 times deeper than just the surface level of I want this thing that they have. And it actually went back to like some pretty deep limiting beliefs and like root things that I had to like look at and be like, oh, okay. Why are we operating from that narrative? Why are we trying to operate from that story? That's not helpful. That's not where we want to go with our lives. That keeps us small. That's not what we're doing here. So I hope this was a fun episode for you guys to hear some of the questions that my clients ask me and to hear how I coach them through these different things. If you are interested in working with me, there's a couple different ways that you can do that right now. The first way is Clarity Academy membership, which is a really amazing membership. You get exclusive members only trainings every single month. And sometimes I have PDFs and scripts and stuff like that, but you get trainings every single month. And it's really incredible. Right now it's $97 a month. The price is going up on Friday. So that's an amazing place to be if you want to work on your business and you want very specific topics to work on every single month and have action steps every single month. The next place to be is Success Accelerator program. So this is going to be relaunching pretty soon. You can join in September. If you already know that your eyes are set on this, go ahead and send me a DM on Instagram and I can get you a payment plan early. I can get you in there and get a couple extra bonuses for you. Success Accelerator program is a 4-month group program where we really dive deep into your business. We dive into your processes. You have one-on-one support from me. I will literally look at aspects of your business. If you want to send me your workflows, I will look at them. If you want to send me your sales consultation call process, I will look at that. If you want to send me your website, I will look at it. So it's a really beautiful place to be. And later this year, I don't even know if I should tell you guys this yet, but later this year, I'm going to be launching my very first mastermind. And I'm so excited because it's going to be a short mastermind and it's going to be A+, very excited about that. So those are the 3 ways right now that you can join my world. There is going to be a mini course coming up at the end of July. I don't have the topic on that yet, but I will have it really soon. So all of this to say, I have had the most fun doing this today. I am so excited for you guys to get to dive in deeper into some of these spaces that I've talked about. But just know that I've really loved making these podcast episodes. It makes my heart so freaking happy. And I'm really excited because this podcast already has 400 downloads and it's not even 6 months old at this point. And I don't know how to thank you guys other than to say thank you. So thank you for being here. Thank you for downloading. Thank you for asking questions. I love you guys to pieces, and I will see you on the next episode.